Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. Star Wars The Acolyte showrunner, creator, Leslie Headland. He's obviously been doing loads and loads of interviews. One of them now, she's come out and said, basically, Soul, everything that Soul was doing stems from sexism. I mean, benign sexism, I guess. But it's still sexism. This person and her worldview is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's that sort of victimhood mentality that some people have. Trying to claim that Soul... I mean, that's the writing. That's how she wrote it. It didn't come across that way either. Because no one's going to look at that and go, oh, that's just someone being sexist. Like, no one does that in the real world. Very few people think that in the real world. Bizarre. Well, let's take a look at this. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Turn those bell notifications on. Just quite insane. These comments are genuinely quite insane. I've got another video actually, which you guys are going to enjoy. Yeah, which explicitly states that the Force is female and that women are for everything. It's very strange. Anyway, so it says about here, the article says it's quite the contrast to where the series began, and in a lengthy new interview with Collider, showrunner Leslie Headland said it was always the goal to turn the tables and have the twins switch places. Okay. That's also why I felt that the memory wipe was important. Remember that thing where he just goes, and then she's like a vegetable? Like, apparently you can just do that to anyone. Why didn't you do that to anyone? At any point in time. Why did he have to kill all those Jedi in the earlier episode, episode 6, when he could have just wiped their memories? Why didn't, well, whenever it was, episode 4, who cares when it was? Why did he kill all the Jedi when he could have just wiped all of their memories? Because apparently it's just that easy. Plots. Because it felt like May had to become completely docile. And then Osha had to embody this rage and despair, Leslie Headland says. So again, trying to get all of that to work took so much time and effort, and I cannot tell you how proud I am of our writers that they did that, and that the actors were so game. So lame, more like. So crucial to Osha, a former Jedi Padawan turning her back on the Order and Master Soul, was learning she'd lied to him about the circumstances surrounding her mother's death. He'd lied to her, not she'd lied to him. Anyway, so explaining that Soul's desire was to protect Osha stems from benign sexism. God, Lord, give me strength. Ultimately, what happens is, again, this is a father-daughter relationship. And as women evolve in their lives and develop their own personalities, separate from their fathers, at some point they have to reject that protectionism. Do you think, just by happenstance, do you think that Leslie Headland may be working through some guilt with her working with Harvey Weinstein? I think maybe that's happening. I think, this is all sarcasm, obviously it's happening. But I think maybe... I've got to say that because some people are like, yeah, that's obvious. Yeah, obviously. It's sarcasm. Can we stop creating, multi-million-dollar shows as a form of trauma therapy for some twat artist in Hollywood? I mean, artist is obviously, wow, I'm being very generous there. But can we stop? Can we stop doing that? That'd be great. I don't want to watch someone's internal struggle session as a form of entertainment. I mean, I'm sure it would be entertaining if it was in person and you're watching this person go like mental. But this? No, this is not enjoyable. So when he says, I did everything because I love, he's going to say, I love you. No fucking shit. And not only is that a level of attachment that an unbalanced Jedi would have, he very clearly is losing it in the last half of the season. But that's also the justification for that kind of behaviour between the father and the daughter, is it? The daughter has to surpass him in some way. She cannot stay a little girl or an adolescent or young adult. What? This person has an awful vocabulary. She cannot stay a little girl or an adolescent or young adult. Adolescent is a young adult. She has to, at some point, say, I reject what you've told me I need to do to make you proud, to follow in your footsteps. She has to do that. Does she? Does she? So in fact, apparently it's Sol telling Osha it's okay that Headland believes is him accepting his fate and giving his, quote, daughter agency. The energy to do the final fist clench. It's during that confrontation we see Osha bleed Sol's lightsaber by turning the blade from blue to red, according to the showrunner. She takes it from him and claims it as her own. I just couldn't resist making that 3-act structure of it. I'm so proud of it. Bet you are. I wanted it to feel like the lightsaber had its own journey over the course of this season. Yeah, I mean, that's terrible. So it says here, a great deal has been said about the possibility of May and Osha, who are supposedly a single consciousness split into 2 bodies, being a Force dyad. Rey and Kylo Ren's connection gave them an unbreakable Force bond, and Headland left the door open to whether that's the case, going so far as to suggest Sol's reading of the situation may be wrong. I hope that people end with just not really knowing. I do think it's something worth exploring if we get to continue telling the story. But I also felt strongly that I shouldn't name drop Force Dyad, because it felt a little inside baseball for a regular viewer. And showing all the other stuff wasn't. Here's what I'll say. I think that there's a world where Sol just doesn't have the vocabulary or information to express what he's looking at. He may have misread what he saw. After everything he's done, I'm not sure he's a reliable narrator at this point, you know. So I was interested in keeping it vague enough that you could explore it on your own. This is so monumentally lame. So there you go. Sexism is what started all of this. What we're actually watching is former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein going through a weird struggle trauma session, which Lucasfilm willingly paid $180 million for. I cannot wait to figure out the actual final figures, because it'll be more than that. Insane. Actually insane. Sexism caused it all, guys. It's all sexism. There'll be sexism to blame when it bombs as well. Well, it has bombed, but when it bombs and they admit it's bombed and it never comes back. Bizarre. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Turn those bell notifications on. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.